Good morning, Hillman Cancer Center. This is Cooking for Cancer and Chronic Disease. My name is Angela Zaccanini, registered dietitian here at the Wellness Suite and Integrative Oncology Program on the third floor of Hillman Cancer Center. Today I have Eric Capozzoli with me, who is a registered dietitian as well, here on the third floor of Hillman Cancer Center. Thank you, Eric.
Of course.
You've joined us before.
I have.
Yes, this is probably what, your third or fourth?
Fourth, but third where the volume.
The volume is working. Let's
working.
hope.
Yes. Can you hear me?
And we are bringing to you a fall salad made with Brussels sprouts, apple pecans, and blue cheese.
Yeah.
Simple ingredients. Everything here is what we'll be utilizing, right?
Yeah. So some pre-chopped stuff.
Yep.
Some stuff we're going to cut up.
Yes. And no cooking required.
You got to love that.
Yes. But for this particular recipe, if you did want to, I guess, like maybe steam or warm your Brussels sprouts, you could.
Yeah,
right?
definitely. Yeah.
I don't know how I would prefer it. Would you rather it cold or warm?
So because it's like the Brussels sprouts are just basically like cabbage, if it sits a little longer, maybe leave the cheese out and let it.
Like add the cheese later?
Yeah, and then but let like the oil vinegar kind of soften the the Brussels sprout.
Raw, you mean, like without being cooked?
Yeah, if it's raw. If not, I would probably just like saute it.
Yeah.
With just a little bit of oil, and then you can eat it right away. I mean, you can eat it right away anyway, but any coleslaw, it's gonna be better the longer it sits.
Okay. We did make a warm apple salad. It's in one of our videos before, and that was pretty well received, and I think people really like that warm salad for these colder months.
Yeah.
Because in the summertime, salads are like what you eat bulk all the time.
Yeah.
But when it comes to fall, winter, I don't eat like raw cold salads as much. So that's where I think cooking it or doing some sort of warm dressing would be a good idea.
And so there's going to be pecans in it.
Yes.
You can even like cook those.
Oh,
too.
toast those.
Toast those. Yeah.
That's a good idea. Okay. All right. Well, let's get to it. So first we're going to make the dressing, which is a simple dressing, which I think you could utilize for other recipes if needed. Maybe make a bigger batch of it.
Yeah.
So it's literally just olive oil.
You're doing that in here.
Yep. Dijon mustard and balsamic vinegar with a little bit of salt and pepper. Okay. Oh, and we are going to use a shallot for the dressing as well.
Okay.
Okay. So the olive oil is just 2 tablespoons. I'll get that started if you want to start mincing the shallot. By the way, this recipe is from Skinny Taste. This is now one of our third recipes we've done from Skinny Taste. The last 2 were kind of a fail. But that was because of us. Danielle and I, burnt the one recipe, and then we made dates, they were like brownie ball dates, and
No good.
they were good. They had a good flavor, but it was supposed to have walnuts, almost like what is it? When you sprinkle walnuts on top. But it did. They weren't sprinkled. They almost morphed into the actual batter. I don't know. It was just, I don't know. But now we say we do it wrong so that they can do it right at home. That's now our slogan.
I like that.
Yeah. All right. So we have Eric. He's going to just mince our shallot pretty small because think about, in a dressing, you want it to be a pretty good thin consistency. At least I would, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Very good knife skills coming from you as well.
Always trying to, but you got these rusty knives that don't work that well.
calling us out live on the air.
Live on the air. Not rusty, but just dull.
Yeah, they're definitely not good knives. But we were just talking about this. Do not put your knives in the dishwasher, right?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't, especially if it's a more expensive knife.
Yeah.
And they're easy to clean just by hand.
Yeah. Well, I think when that water sits and they just kind of air dry like that, that rust can build up, even on pretty decent knives, right?
Yeah, and you don't want your knives to rust. It probably can dull them faster. You don't want it exposed to that high heat from a dishwasher. And we're looking at what, a tablespoon of this?
Yes, a tablespoon of the shallots, and then I just added 2 teaspoons of the Dijon mustard. It already smells good. Okay.
So yeah, you try to get this as fine as possible. But the shallots are very mild taste, I believe. So you could use like a Vidalia onion too, or sweet onion.
Yep,
Probably about that much.
that's perfect. And then 2 tablespoons of our balsamic. I'm sure this mustard is in the way. And then a little bit of salt and pepper to taste. Eric, you want to mince that or whisk it?
Oil's in.
Looks pretty thick, huh?
Yeah, the oil's in already.
Yeah. Might even need more than that for.
So we're going no waste thing here, so I'm just putting all this in.
Okay. Yep.
Probably a little
Sounds good to
more,
me.
but it'll be okay.
Okay. I'm just going to switch the camera real quick to show you guys a little bit closer up. Do you want to tilt that a little bit? Yep.
Like that.
Other side. This way. Sorry. This way.
That way.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you see it?
Yeah. Okay, good. So you're just whisking that together so it's all combined.
Yeah, you want to try to get it emulsified. It'll separate if you let it sit, but
Okay.
we're going to mix it in here.
Yep. Now we're just going to add, so we ended up getting these shaved Brussels sprouts. The recipe calls for 12 ounces, which is exactly what this is. So we definitely like the convenience of this. Of course, if you had regular Brussels sprouts, you would just have to take the time to kind of chop and mince and get them to that consistency that you want. Okay.
And then we have our apples. You want me to prep this apple?
Yep, so 1 small Honeycrisp apple or any sort of sweet apple. And then it says to dice them into matchsticks with the skin on. But
Okay.
again, any consistency that you would kind of prefer in a salad. If you wanted them to be, what's that?
Just slices, just halves,
Yeah, like just,
little half moons.
yeah,
kind of thing.
half moons. That's what I was thinking. I would be okay with that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'll try to do the little sticks. Just stack them.
Perfect. And then it says to just season your Brussels with salt and pepper as well, so I'll do that while he's cutting those up. And again, like we mentioned, if you do want this to be warm, just throw it over a skillet, medium-high heat, with a little bit of olive oil for maybe 5 minutes to just get them warmed and a little bit cooked down.
Yeah, I think that would be good. And then even like toasting the nuts.
Yeah, I like that idea.
And you can even warm the dressing too,
Yeah.
like you were talking about. So with this, I'm just gonna see if I can stack
Easy cutting.
these guys up and. You can also use like a food processor or something too if you have it.
I wonder if you could do that, you know how they have those zucchini like spiralers? Is there a way to, is there a machine or some sort of kitchen tool that can cut apples in that sort of skinny?
I think if you put it in not the handheld ones, but the ones with
looks good.
the ones with the crank.
Yeah,
So yeah, these are like little sticks.
that looks perfect.
So it's not too hard. I mean, you're throwing it in this salad. Like Ange said, it's any kind of anything's gonna work. But I'd like the little bites of it instead of big chunks. Probably a little better.
So would you consider this like a side dish? You couldn't really, if you wanted to make this a meal, we talked about adding some sort of protein, right? Like some
Yeah.
chicken breast, or maybe some turkey, or
Yeah.
even if you wanted to do something more plant-based, like chickpeas or some sort of lentil.
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, you could also do even, depending on how you're cooking it, like some tofu or tempeh or something.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it would be that would make it a meal in itself, because you're going to get some protein from the pecans.
Right.
But we're going to have definitely like more protein if you add something like a chicken or tofu or tempeh or steak.
Right. Yeah.
You can
that would
even
be
do
good.
like maybe even like some quinoa.
Yeah. I was just gonna say quinoa, and that you can add it cold, or again warmed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You can cook it and then let it cool, and then add it to that, so it's still a cold salad. Or cook it, keep it warm, and again just throw all those warm ingredients together and make it a warm salad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Easily. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can also, even though these are pre-chopped,
Yeah.
you can put those in a food processor too if you like it to, be like even smaller pieces. Just whatever works for you. Obviously, easier just to kind of throw it together. I mean, we'll get this done in 15 minutes or less. And then these are already chopped.
Yeah, again, convenience. You
Oh,
are
yeah.
going to pay a little bit more, but that's something you could throw too in the processor. If you have full pecans. Quarter cup.
And then if you are gonna, I would say if you want to let the stuff sit, the apples will probably brown if you let it sit. So maybe just the dressing with the Brussels sprouts by themselves, let that sit for an hour in the fridge, and then add all this stuff in and mix it before serving. If you want to do it cold and let that cabbage kind of break down a little bit.
Okay. I think this is a good way
gonna
to. Yeah, you
do
can.
this.
Yeah. Let's do that first.
Do you have
What do you need?
like a spatula?
Yeah.
Just so I can get it all out.
See, isn't it funny that whenever Eric is here, I'm the sous chef?
That's right. You see these matchsticks?
Perfection. That looks good. I actually really do like a fall like themed salad, because like I said, I don't really eat much salads in the fall. But if you have good ingredients, ones that are in season, like Brussels and apples are obviously in season,
Yes.
so that just makes it a lot more flavorful.
Well,
Okay.
you're a fall lover too, so.
I am a fall lover. The season to me is the best. All right, that's looking good. I think.
Do you want me to?
Yeah, go ahead. Perfect. I think this would be a great salad to bring to a party, too.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe a Thanksgiving, or any sort of fall, like even sort of like a football Sunday.
Yeah, a little tailgate.
Yeah, but like
Get
you
some
said,
healthy stuff in there.
right? But like you said, would you add the dressing before you would bring it over to get more flavor, or wait?
I think I would add it, to be honest. I'm just saying in terms of like apple slices, they definitely turn. You could probably let them soak in like
Some lemon juice.
lemon water. I think you can even do salt water, which will help them not turn brown.
Okay.
They're still going to taste the same. They're just not going to look as pretty. And the balsamic actually turns them brown anyway.
Right.
So I think I would do this and let it sit. Maybe leave the nuts off, but even the nuts softer are fine. I mean,
Yeah.
it depends on like what you want. So
Okay.
anything, we have a lot of variation,
Yeah, and I think,
which is always good.
like you mentioned, because the Brussels are raw, adding the dressing to that is going to soften them up a little bit anyway.
Yeah.
So that's going to create a better texture and mouthfeel, I think, if you do add the dressing ahead of time, if it is raw.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Good.
think,
That was actually a perfect amount of dressing.
yeah. And you can always add more.
Yeah.
Whatever you like. If you like it, have a little more on there. If it sits, it's going to soak that up, but it's looking good.
Let's talk about these nutrition facts real quick. So 1 cup, again, this is from Skinny Taste. I'll add the recipe link to the description in our video. But 202 calories, 17 grams of carbs, 5 grams of protein, 13.5 grams of fat, 5 grams of fiber, pretty low sodium, 154 milligrams. So I think, like we talked about, this is definitely like a side dish.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know?
you're definitely going to need some protein.
Yeah.
I mean, they do the fat in there. That fat might be a little high per serving.
Yeah, why is that? Because of the cheese in the nuts?
Cheese, olive oil, nuts.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Okay.
it would depend. But again, you know, heart healthy nuts, fats from nuts and olive oil.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not afraid of fat.
Right. Good fats. And because the sodium is low, this is definitely a heart healthy recipe for sure. I mean, the saturated fat content is only 2.5 grams.
Yeah.
And that's going to be from the cheese, right? So, you know.
Yeah, just so this is definitely going to help you feel full with the fiber, but we need some
Added protein here.
added protein to make it a full dish. You know, you can put some, you know, all those proteins we talked about in there, or just having it on the side if you have, you know, roasted chicken or piece steak or the plant-based stuff.
Yep.
Tofu, tempeh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of patients ask about adequate protein, and I'm sure you do too, being in the oncology field and
Yeah.
working with patients who are on active treatment or maybe pre-surgery, post-surgery.
For sure.
Do you have a number that you would aim for each meal when it comes to protein? Like, this is obviously 5 grams, but would you say we want 20 to 25 grams per meal?
So depending on like your meals, like if you're doing 3 meals a day, 4 to 6.
Yep.
If you're at 3, 20 to 25.
Yeah.
The 4 to 6, 15 to 20.
Okay.
So
I think that's fair.
yeah, I mean, if you're, sometimes people can overdo it. They kind of focus too much on protein and not enough on calories, depending on
sure.
where you're sitting. But protein is definitely important for pre-surgery, post-surgery, pre-treatment, during treatment.
Immune function.
Yeah, all those things.
Muscle
And just
wasting.
like in general for health, helping you with feeling full after eating. Yeah, and being like satisfied with your meal. If you're
Yeah.
ever eating like, it's not that like the refined carbohydrates are bad, but you know, if you eat like a meal that's heavy, doesn't have a lot of fiber, you're kind of hungry.
Quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I think to kind of outline what would be 20 to 25 grams, it would be a 3-ounce chicken breast,
Yeah.
right? So, you know, this is 5 grams with the nuts, the cheese. If you added a size, like a fist size of chicken, that would get you your 20 to 25 grams there.
Yeah.
Because what you think, 3 ounces of meat is probably 22,
Yeah.
25 grams of protein right there.
Yeah. Chicken breast, like a deck of cards.
Yep.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, so I guess not my fist.
Yeah.
A little bigger.
We don't want to do fists because people have different size
That's
hands.
true.
So like a
Right.
deck of cards. Yeah,
Yeah.
so something close to like that, not as thick.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, so something, you know, that would definitely suffice. Plus you're getting some protein too, where you have 5 grams coming from the things we mentioned. So
Yeah.
that would give you kind of what you would need.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, the healthy fats, the fiber, so you're getting a good balance here. And definitely something that's going to keep you feeling full longer, which is what we want if we're doing those 3 meals a day. Of course, if our patients are struggling with appetite or not, you know, just not feeling hungry or not able to talk, maybe fullness or bloating is an issue, so they're just not consuming large portions at once, those smaller, more frequent meals are
Yeah.
definitely going to be a little bit more feasible.
Yeah, and just kind of paying attention to, depending on what the bloating and gas is from, you may have to cut back on these,
Fibrous foods,
more fiber,
That's
especially.
true.
So then you definitely would want to cook this.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it, but just depending on why that is. So everyone's different, there's individualized with nutrition. So always speaking to our wonderful dietitian.
Yes.
Wonderful dietitian.
Yes.
A dietitian or nutrition professional that's going to help you with individualizing it for you and your needs.
Absolutely. I like the point that you made that cooking those Brussels sprouts are going to be more tolerable than if they were raw. And some people don't realize that. They think, you know, oh, we have to avoid all fruits and vegetables whenever I have some GI discomfort. And really, if you just cook it well, or maybe, you know, Brussels are from the cabbage family, so they can be a little bit gas producing.
Yeah.
But there's ways around it. Like I always talk about cooked asparagus tips or cooked carrots. Those are going to be one of those more tolerable options when it comes to vegetables, whenever you are having some GI upset. So it is good to talk to your dietitian and get some variety in your diet, because a lot of times if you are struggling with side effects with anything you're experiencing, your options are limited.
Yeah, yeah, and if you like foods like this, and you cooking them is almost like pre-digesting them.
Yep.
And then our fruits, softer stuff,
Mm-hmm.
bananas, melons, those are easier to digest.
Yep.
So to speak.
Yeah. Okay, good. Want to add the cheese?
Yeah.
Maybe try it out? All right, so it says 3 tablespoons of blue cheese. It also mentions that we can add some like gorgonzola if that's what you have. I'm sure feta would be good on this too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Goat cheese.
Goat cheese. I love goat cheese.
And then if you're doing your plant-based and your plant-based cheese, or leave
That's
the cheese
true.
off.
We could just, omit it.
But do the cheese if you can, because it makes it that
Have you
much better.
have you tried any vegan cheeses or plant-based cheeses?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
They're okay. Some of them, there actually is a lot more option now.
Yeah.
They're almost akin to like a loaf, like a skim cheese.
So,
like melting. They don't.
I was going to say the cooking process.
They
is-
melt kind of weird,
Yeah.
and because they're made out of whatever, they have stabilizers and stuff in them.
Yep.
So
Okay. What do you think? Is this Instagram worthy?
maybe
All right, you want to try?
you want to take a picture.
Yeah. And then I'll give you a quick zoom view. There we go. Okay.
Someone hit my head.
Yeah, watch your head.
I got a spoon in here.
Whatever looks better on Instagram.
Whatever it does, we can always mess with it before too. But we got to taste it.
Eric's a really good cook. Not only is he a great dietitian, but he's a really good cook too. And he is on Instagram, Effortless Nutrition, right?
Yes.
Lots of good recipes and pretty pictures.
I try.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And you were doing reels for a while there, doing videos and
Yeah.
things like that, which is always cool to see, like the whole process of the actual recipe be done in like a short and condensed version.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
With short attention spans, we do the TikToks and stuff.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I know that for a fact because I need that. You send me like 2-minute videos and I'm like, no.
Yeah. I didn't watch that. Okay.
30 seconds or less, please.
Just humor me. I know you're only going to watch 10 seconds.
Right. All right, you want to try this out?
Yeah.
Let me grab spoon or fork? Spoon?
Spoon, I guess.
I'll get the bigger ones. Okay,
Whoa.
big ones.
Big boy.
We needed to
You need
try
to-
one
you
of
need to
everything.
get everything, right?
Meanwhile, I'm like, you know what would be good in here? Bacon.
Hey,
You know?
you're not wrong.
I looked at that pecan and I was like, oh, that looks like a bacon bit.
That's like your, yeah. Don't
That's
think
what
it's
I'm
going to be
thinking.
bacon because it ain't going to be.
Okay, ready?
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
really good. I love that cheese.
I know. You know what I really taste a lot of? Sorry for talking and chewing. The shallot.
Yeah.
Well, you did double it up.
Yeah, we did go crazy, but it
Mm-hmm.
is, it's sweet too, and savory. No, that's very good.
I wonder if, instead of balsamic, you can use apple cider vinegar.
Yeah, because you do get that balsamic.
Yeah, I think that would give it a little bit even more of a fall flavor, maybe.
Yeah, and less of that vinegar flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I would probably add another apple too.
Yeah,
Don't you think?
spruce it up.
Yeah.
You can add some stuff to it.
I would like to try this with the Brussels cooked, softened a little more. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think, I know we talked about doing stuff separately to sit, but if you just let this sit,
It's
even
gonna-
for like 45 minutes, it's going to be softer.
Yeah.
Because you have, when you get especially when you get pre-chopped stuff, even though it is definitely more convenient, whatever you need to do it, but they put the whole thing in. Like stuff maybe you may leave out, like harder
That's
pieces.
true. That's true.
So kind of seeing,
We talk about with the kale stems. Ugh.
yeah. When you get pre-chopped kale, it's all.
I'm like,
stems.
I'd rather get
You just
kale
cut
and
the
chop it
ribs out.
myself because this is crazy.
Yeah.
But the Brussels are a little bit less. But you can see like there's an entire
entire
Like,
whole middle and bottom.
that's like a full cabbage right there.
You want that to break down. That's
Yeah.
going straight through.
Good. Well, I love the flavor though of
No, I do.
everything
I think
combined.
it's very good.
Yeah.
You can even do like pomegranate seeds.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
You know, it gets
Yeah,
even more fruit in there.
that's a good idea. More
Anything.
color, and then Christmas. Christmas coming up.
Or like,
Yeah.
yeah, but I
Okay.
think cooked up, toasted pecans. These are more steps, but
True, they are more steps, but
we want it to be quick because I know it's people are busy or whatever. But
tired.
Yeah.
Fatigue is a big issue a lot of the time. So,
yeah, but we made that in
I mean, if we
15
weren't
minutes.
yapping
15
done-
minutes easy.
yeah.
I mean, probably 10 minutes.
easily, for
Yeah.
sure. I think the most time consuming thing is just chopping the shallots and the
Yeah.
apple. Yeah.
Yeah, to be honest.
Good. Okay. All right. Well, thank you again for joining us, Eric. We always love to have you on.
course.
Again, follow him on Instagram, Effortless Nutrition. Check out some of his recipes. And I am going to include my email here at the bottom of the screen, if I know what I'm doing. No?
No?
Yeah.
Sounds
Wait.
right.
There it is. Okay. So there's my email address. Shoot me an email if you have any questions, concerns. If you want to be a part of our email distribution list and check out, our YouTube channel, subscribe to our channel, check out the recipes. We have over 60 recipes on our channel right now, and we also made them into playlists. So if you're looking for a healthy dessert, a lunch or dinner, breakfast, healthy snack, they're all kind of mapped out per playlist.
Up
So
to 60
check
now.
that out. Yeah.
Oh,
Almost
okay.
70. Yeah, getting up
Whoa.
there. Mhm.
Okay.
And Eric keeps making an appearance, guys. Gonna
I'm
keep
back.
him going. All right. Thank you. We'll see you next time.
See you guys. Thank you.